Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is your Vedic astrology coach, Rajat Kapoor, and welcome to my channel, The Legit Astrologer. This is the monthly prediction videos for the month of November. Before I move into all 12 ascendant signs and share with you what you can expect as far as the month of November is concerned, one very important message. The strongest planet for the month of November is planet Saturn. Saturn finally will be moving in its direct motion mid of November, precisely on 15th of November. So between 14th till 16th of November, Saturn will be in a stationary position or a stambhana motion. This is a very karmic time. It is a very strongly disposed Saturn that is there throughout the month of November. Since the last few days, it has also moved in Pisces Navamsha, which gives it some better dignity because previously it was moving through Aries Navamsha. Therefore, this is one opportunity for you as far as the Karam Karak Saturn or Shani, which is the strongest planet in the month of November, is to avoid any delays, avoid any lethargy, take things in your control, take charge of your actions, your duties. This is what Saturn represents. It is the significator of your duties, your job, your work. It is the Karam Karak. And this by far is the last opportunity for you for 2024. Since after a long time, an opportunity window is coming for you to work, put your acts together, get serious about things, take things in your control, take charge of your own actions. This is the key message for everyone as far as the month of November is concerned. Let us now start with Aries ascendants and see what you can expect as far as the month of November is concerned. Here, I'm going to talk about some important prominent transits for your ascendant. What are some highs and lows? What are some of the remedies that I can recommend you as far as the month of November is concerned, and what you should be expecting? So, for Aries ascendants, Jupiter, which is your ninth lord, your Bhagyesha, has recently started its retrograde journey, and throughout the month of November, it will be in a retrograde motion in your second house. This is one prominent transit. There are other planets also that are changing signs. Venus is going to be entering in Sagittarius on 7th of November. So your second lord Venus and your ninth lord Jupiter will be involved in a parivartana, in an exchange yoga. This is one of the most powerful parivartana yogas or a beneficial parivartana yoga as far as Aries ascendants are concerned. And this is something which you can experience most of the time from 7th of November till the end of November. And also Mercury will be moving through Scorpio end of October, and this is where Mercury will be transiting in your 8th house. Sun is going to change signs. Sun for the first 15 days is going to be in Libra. Thereafter, it will move to Scorpio, and Saturn, your 10th and 11th lord, is going to be making a direct transit. Your Lagna lord Mars, which has already entered the sign of Cancer. I've already made a detailed video on it. It is available on my channel. You can check that out. Will continue to move through its debilitation throughout the month of November in a direct motion before it goes retrograde. So Jupiter, which goes retrograde in the sign of Taurus in your second house, that's your ninth lord. So understand Jupiter has been going extremely slow. Now is the time when it will start delivering some results. It will start to pick up some pace as far as its retrograde motion is concerned. So it wants you to look back at your ascendant. It wants you to take charge of your actions. See, understand when your Lagna Lord is in a weak disposition throughout the month of November, so your decision making is going to be put at test. And this is where Jupiter is supporting your decision making. Because firstly, from a placement perspective, Mars in your fourth house, as far as this transit is concerned, is forming a yoga, but it is debilitated. So this would ensure that you look back at some of your decisions that you've taken with regards to matters related to your home, your homeland, and also your dharma, because your dharma lord Jupiter is making a retrograde transit in your second house. So family is somehow related to your dharma. And at the same time, you need to look back at your physical, mental, and emotional well-being. And this is what you need to take charge of. This is what requires action. Jupiter and Venus are involved in a Parivartana Yoga, which means that this Jupiter is acting as if it's the Venus in the sign of Taurus, and Venus is acting as if it's Jupiter in its Mool Trikon sign of Sagittarius. So this is a wealth creating opportunity for you if you're expecting some sort of increment, a rise in your income, or this month could look you doing some financial decisions. You need to make some financial commitments. You need to make some long-term investment related decisions as far as the month of November is concerned. This is one opportunity window for you, which is upcoming. Now, your fifth lord, Surya, for the first 15 days, it is going to be making a transit in its debilitation sign in the sign of Libra. So this is where your fifth lord is moving into the seventh house. It is forming a yoga. It continues to form a yoga, and it is moving solely. It does not have any support. It has the fourth aspect of Mars here, which is quite a supporting aspect. Okay, so this is where Mars is trying to protect some of the significations related to Sun. But more interesting transit for you, because this is where your relationship is going through some conflict, some differences that are there with your partner, which you need to take charge of, which you need to take control of. The first 15 days could be a bit emotionally draining as far as relationship matters are concerned. But this sun is going to move in the sign of Scorpio on 16th of November. And this is where it is going to stay in the sign of Scorpio in your eighth house for the remainder of the time. And this is where Sun and Mercury will form a conjunction for the remainder of the year. So Mercury is having a long-term transit this time in the sign of Scorpio, because throughout the year 2024 now, Mercury will be in Scorpio because it will also go retrograde and then turn direct as well. So Mercury will be joining the retrograde season very soon. And this is where these two planets will be aspected by Jupiter by its seventh aspect. And since Jupiter is retrograde, its seventh aspect is extremely powerful. So Jupiter is supporting Sun. So the last 15 days, you can expect resources to be in your favor. You can expect some sort of inheritance related decision if that is there. Unearned or unaccounted source of income, there is a probability of that too. Plus, if you're in the work of, let's say, any related work such as advisory consulting, where people come to you to take advice, or if you serve towards other people, if you give them recommendations, you could build some strong connections. This is the time to work as far as some of these pursuits are concerned. So I expect things to pick up significantly in the second half of the month for you. The first half, you can expect some sort of slowness as far as these matters are concerned, because this sun will also be fourth from its position. Okay, here, bringing happiness, bringing comfort, and bringing a sense of transformation. And that is quite inevitable. You're going to transform for good. Now, Saturn, which is your 10th and the 11th Lord, is making a retrograde transit for the first 15 days of the month. On 15th of November, it goes direct. Finally, Saturn goes direct. And understand, and Saturn is going to pick up a pace. Saturn is a kind of planet which moves extremely slow. And when it is picking up a pace which is faster than its usual pace, it is expected to remove any sort of slowness in life. It is expected to remove, or you could say that if there were any delays as far as work related decisions are concerned, as far as matters related to friends are concerned, as far as your gains, the opportunity for income is concerned, so that is going to pick up. That is going to pick up the pace. So work will move at a fast pace. Your life in general, as far as your actions are concerned, you need to move away from lethargy, and you need to now take charge of these actions. Jupiter's remedy, Jupiter's mantra would be extremely beneficial for you. Since Sun is going to be making a transit in your seventh and the eighth house along with Mercury, you can also read Aditya Hridaya Strotam to gain a lot of mental strength during this time. So any mantra related to Jupiter would be extremely beneficial because it is making a transit in a retrograde motion in your second house, which indicates your speech. So that is going to support your Mars and also channelize the energies of Sun and Mercury for you throughout the month of November. And for that, I wish you the very best. Now let us talk about Taurus ascendants and how the month of November, which is the opportunity month in my opinion, due to the significant transits that are happening as far as the month of November is concerned. I'm going to talk about some key transits as far as your ascendant sign is concerned, how to read it, what you can expect, what are some of the highs and lows, some recommendations, some remedies that I could suggest you or recommend you during this time. Finally, Saturn is going to be making a direct motion in your 10th house in the sign of Aquarius on 15th of November. So the first 15 days, Saturn now is moving faster than its usual pace, and it is going to be moving faster in the coming weeks. Now, on 14th of November, it would move in a stationary position, which we call Stamana. So between 14th till 16th of November, it is quite an important time for you to look at some decisions related to your workplace. Because if you make some manifestation around this time, if you make some key decisions around this time, you could have some long-lasting benefits, because that Saturn is going to be extremely powerful. Saturn is the strongest planet amongst all in the month of November. So it rules the month of November, in my opinion, as far as any actions are concerned, because it is pretty much well disposed in most of the divisional charts. Okay, Saturn has moved out from Aries Navamsha. It is now in Pisces Navamsha. And in many of the other division charts, it is either in Aquarius, Libra, or it's in friendly sign, most of the divisional charts. So it is gaining a very strong position during this time. So Saturn moves direct. It is time for you to foster decisions related to your workplace. It is time for you to take charge of your workplace. So if you're looking forward to new opportunities, new job, new project, this is the quite an optimum time, because the next 3 to 4 months are not going to come for the next 30 years. So this is how you need to read this time. Your Bhagyesha, your Karmesha, your Yoga Karaka planet is being quite favorable, is removing slowness and delay as far as career related matters are concerned. So it is time for you to take charge of your actions, take decisions as far as your workplace is concerned, try to build credible and meaningful relationship as far as your workplace. Some elderly people at your workplace could benefit you during this time. Jupiter, which continues to make a retrograde transit in your ascendant, is going to be forming a yoga with Venus, which is your Lagna Lord. They are involved in Parivartan. They are involved in a mutual exchange, because Venus is going to be entering the sign of Sagittarius in your 8th house. Now, 8th house Venus generally is considered good, because Venus is the only planet that attained the knowledge of Mrit Sanjeevani by the blessings of Lord Shiva. And this is where it supports your transformation. And Jupiter is acting as if it's Venus sitting in your ascendant, and it wants to focus a lot on your personality. Now, understand one thing, that Sun, which is your fourth lord, is going to be entering in your seventh house along with Mercury in a mutual aspect with this powerful retrograde Jupiter. Sun and Jupiter here are forming a royal yoga. So this Jupiter is acting as if it has the qualities of Venus now sitting in your ascendant. So it wants you to work on your personality improvement as far as your overall development is concerned, your self grooming is concerned. That will be vital if you were to succeed in workplace settings. So if you improve your personality, it will have a direct impact on your productivity, on getting new opportunities as far as your life is concerned. Relationship would need focus, would need communication, and would need loyalty during this time. And this is where you need to leverage the wisdom of Jupiter, and of course, the love quotient of Venus, the harmony that Venus tries to bring in as far as relationship is concerned. So therefore, this is the month of transformation, because your Lagna Lord is making a transit in your 8th house. It's in its enemy sign, the sign of Jupiter, but since Jupiter and Venus are involved in Parivartan, transformation is inevitable. Be prepared for suddenness in life, sudden changes, sudden shifts. There could be a sudden project or a job assignment that has been given to you. You might not be pleased about it, but you will have to take it up for your own benefit. Mars continues to make a debilitated transit in your 3rd house, but this Mars for you is in the house where it is the significator. So somehow you will have to put 3 or 4 more times the effort. One of the resolution, one of the remedy for you is to exercise, work out each and every day to uplift your Mars and also channelize these energies so that you can take charge, take control of actions. See, you're going to be having 4 planets as far as your Kendra houses are concerned. So your fundamentals, your pillars are pretty strong as far as the month of November is concerned. So any key decisions that you take, whether it's starting a new business, a new assignment, a new job, things related to your house, or any changes that you'd like to make in your house, if you're buying a new asset, this could be a potentially favorable time because your decision-making power is quite favorable in spite of your Lagna Lord going into the 8th house. And for that, I wish you the very best. Now let's talk about Gemini Ascendants. What's happening with Gemini Ascendants as far as the month of November is concerned. I'm going to talk about some key important transits for you, what you can expect, some highs and lows, and also some remedies. November is the month of opportunities because there are some vital transits that are happening. There are some powerful yogas that are being formed as far as the month of November is concerned. So let's start with your Lagna Lord, Mercury. Mercury is going to be making a transit in the sign of Scorpio. This transit would happen on 29th of October. And throughout the month of November, Mercury will be making a transit in the sign of Scorpio in your 6th house. So understand this, that remainder of the year, this is a long transit of Mercury in the sign of Scorpio because later Mercury will also be going retrograde here. So throughout the year of 2024, this is where your Lagna Lord is. So it requires you to put all your energy, attention in fixing your daily routine, things that you do on a day-to-day basis. Your communication is going to significantly improve. You would want to communicate with people each and every day. You would want to talk to people. You would want to go out. You would want to meet up with people. You would want to socialize. You will become like a social butterfly. And this is something which will be favorable for you as far as some of these pursuits are concerned because this Mercury will be joined by Sun around mid of November. On 16th of November, Sun will join here, Mercury in your 6th house. So that's your third lord making a transit in your 6th house. It is forming a kind of Viparita yoga here. Mercury and Sun are forming a Buddh Aditya yoga. So any course that you pick up around this time would give you long-lasting results as far as your self-development or self-improvement is concerned. I will advise you, even if you don't pick up a course, read a chapter or two every day. Make that a habit for yourself to gain the maximum as far as this particular time period is concerned. You need to take care of your skin. There could be some skin related issues that you could be prone to develop during this time. So take care of that and also take care of your digestive system. There could be some digestive issues. So make sure that you keep yourself hydrated. You drink plenty of water. Saturn, which is your 9th lord, your Bhagyesha, an important planet, is going to be making a direct motion on 15th of November. So from 14th till 16th, Saturn is stationary. So when your 9th lord is stationary, any prayers that you make around that time, any important decisions that you take around that time will have long-lasting results because throughout the month of November, the most strong planet is Saturn. So your bhagya is favorable. Your bhagya is supportive during this time. So any key decisions that you make, anything that you start is likely to have some long-lasting results, which could impact you in the long run in a positive manner. But that will depend on your ongoing dasha antardasha. And this is where you need to make the most of it. So understand this Saturn will be aspecting both your Sun and Mercury by its 10th aspect. Okay. And they will also be under the aspect of this Jupiter here. All right. So both Jupiter and Saturn will be aspecting your Lagna Lord during this time. So there is the power of wisdom, Jupiter's wisdom, because Jupiter's 7th aspect is pretty strong. So it wants to bring in a lot of wisdom in your leadership, in your communication, because it will be aspecting Sun. Saturn wants to bring discipline. It wants to bring the sense of work, sense of duty as far as your communication is concerned. And that is what is your duty for the month of November that you need to understand and channelize. So remedies for you could be related to Mercury, worship Vishnu, use the mantra Om Vishnave Nama for the month of November. This could be highly beneficial for you. Mars continues to make a debilitated transit in your second house, which will make you a soft-spoken person because this is Mars has fallen in your second house. But you will go through some dietary restrictions or transition during this time. So take charge of your action. Venus, which is the Yoga Karaka planet for you, moves in your seventh house on 7th of November. Now, this Venus and Jupiter are involved in a Parivartana Yoga. So this means this Jupiter is acting as if it's Venus in the 12th house. And this Venus is acting as if it's Jupiter in the 7th house in its Mool Trikon sign. So your relationship would need focus, would need a sense of wisdom during this time. So Venus is the significator of the 7th house. This is the transit where Venus is extremely powerful in spite of being in an inimical sign because it is involved in a yoga with Jupiter, which is your 10th lord and your 7th lord. So support from your partner would be highly beneficial for you. So if you listen to your partner, that is the ultimate remedy for you because the advice that you will get, that advice will not harm you during this time. And this is what you need to take into account during this time. And for that, I wish you the very best. Let us now talk about Cancer ascendants and what's happening with Cancer ascendants as far as the month of November is concerned. See, the month of November, I call it an opportunity month because there are some vital transits that are happening as far as the month of November is concerned. Your Lagna Lord is going to be coming in contact with a number of planets, starting with Mercury, Venus, Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, and of course, Sun throughout the month. So you could expect some activation as well as based on your Dasha Antardasha at a personal level because Mars is making a debilitated transit in your ascendant and Mars is your fifth lord. It is making a yoga, but it is in a weak disposition during this time. So considering the placement of moon, if moon is placed in your Kendra houses, if your Lagna lord is strongly disposed, you will have very beneficial results as far as this transit is concerned. Otherwise, you will have to put in a lot more efforts. So this transit calls for energy. You need to take charge of your own energy during this time. As far as this Mars transit is concerned, be very conscious of your vitality, of your immunity, of your overall health and well-being, and also your intelligence during this time. Now, Jupiter has made a retrograde transit in the recent times. This is your ninth lord, and this is also your sixth lord, which makes a retrograde transit in your 11th house. This is retrograde. And this Jupiter's seventh aspect would be quite special during this time, would be extremely powerful. So firstly, this Jupiter wants you to look back at decisions related to your work, related to your career, related to your profession. And at the same time, this is making an aspect on your fifth house by its seventh aspect, which will be extremely powerful. So it wants you to take account of your future. As far as your future of work is concerned, that is something which you need to take in your own hands because your second lord Sun will also join Mercury in the fifth house, and this fifth house Sun is extremely powerful. It is forming a wealth yoga. So the second half of November is giving you opportunities to improve your finances, opportunities to increase your wealth. So if you're looking forward to getting an increment or a rise of income, this could be a potentially favorable time for you. So this is what you need to understand as far as the month of November is concerned. Jupiter's aspect on Sun is forming a royal yoga. So resources are in favor. So is your communication. So this is something which you need to channelize to the best of your potential, to the best of your ability during this time. Also understand that Jupiter and Venus are involved in a Parivartana yoga in an exchange as far as this month is concerned. Venus is in Sagittarius, Jupiter is in Taurus. So this Jupiter is behaving as if it's Venus as far as 11th house is concerned, and it is placed there in a pretty strong manner. So as far as rise of income is concerned, there are quite good chances for you to gain and have some success, and also look back at your relationship with friends is concerned. That is something which could be taken into account during this time. Venus for you is in a house where it attains Maran Karak, and of course, I'm going to be making a separate detailed video around it. But this is something where it is losing significance. Your relationship will be put at test. So this is something which, as far as relationship matters are concerned, this month you have to be careful. Because firstly, Saturn, which is your seventh lord and the eighth lord, okay, now this Saturn is moving in a direct motion on 15th of November. Okay, now before that, it is continued to go retrograde, and Venus is in your sixth house. And while I'm making this video, Moon transiting in your, while the date of the video that I have, the date of the standard that I have selected, Moon is in your seventh house on that date. Okay, so from a karmic standpoint, your relationship needs focus during this time. It needs loyalty. It needs some sort of discipline as far as this time is concerned. So between 14th till 16th of November, Saturn will be stationary. So this is one time wherein you could do something for your partner, for your spouse, which could have some very good results as far as long-term sustainability of the relationship is concerned. So once Saturn makes a direct transit, it will remove any kind of lethargy that you've been facing, any kind of downward trend or any delays that have been there as far as your work opportunities are concerned, because Saturn's eighth transit from the ascendant brings a lot of stress at the physical level. So it is more of a physically draining transit. So if you've been feeling a lot drained over the last few months, this is the time from an energy point of view, you will start feeling better. And this is something that you have to take charge. You have to take control of your own energy. That is the key message for you. And for that, I wish you the very best. Now let's talk about Leo Ascendants. What's happening with Leo Ascendants as far as the month of November is concerned? I'm going to talk about some key important transits, what you can expect as far as this month is concerned, some highs and lows, some remedies. Month of November is an opportunity month because there are some vital transits, there are some very important transits, including Saturn going direct, Venus and Jupiter forming a Parivartana Yoga. But let's start with your Ascendant Lord. Lord of Lagna, Sun. Sun would make a transit in the sign of Libra for the first half of the month till about 15th of November. On 16th of November, Sun enters your fourth house. So it is forming a yoga by entering a Kendra house, and it will be conjoined Mercury during this time. So Mercury will stay in your fourth house for the entire month of November. It's a long transit for Mercury because later Mercury will also go retrograde. So Sun and Mercury are forming a Buddha Aditya Yoga as far as your fourth house is concerned. So this is one opportunity for you wherein any learning would bring a sense of mental peace, would elevate your mindfulness, the capacity to understand yourself, your priorities during this time. That will be very clear. This could be a potentially favorable time to do a decluttering exercise at your home, especially in the second half of the month. It could be a potentially good remedy for you. And this is something which you need to be mindful of during this time. It could give you a lot of beneficial results, and this could also foster your decision-making capabilities as far as this time period is concerned. Mars, which is your ninth lord, is making a debilitated transit throughout the month of November in your 12th house. Now, this Mars is debilitated, but in the 12th house, it attains Nicha Bhanga Yoga. So it is coming out of debilitation. But that doesn't mean you will not have to put in efforts. You need to protect your dharma during this time. This time period could bring you some foreign visits, some long journeys. And if those people who are looking forward to settling outside of their home country, obtaining a permanent residency, long-term visas, this could be a potentially favorable time if you were to initiate paperwork. Because from that aspect as well, this Saturn, which is going to go direct on 15th of November, is going to be favorable as far as picking up the pace is concerned. So slowness going to is going to pick up speed gradually, is going to move things forward, is going to help you in that way. Now, this Saturn goes retrograde for the first 15 days, and then later it picks up a direct motion. So between 14th till 16th of November, Saturn is stationary, Stambhana. It is a special status for Saturn. It is an extremely powerful Saturn as far as the month of November is concerned. So you need to take charge of your relationship. Your relationship needs the utmost focus as far as the month of November is concerned. This is one area wherein you have to consciously work on. You need to put all your attention, because that's your duty. Okay, so Saturn is reminding yourself of your duty. You will have a number of planets in your Kendra houses. You will have Sun, Mercury, Saturn, and Jupiter in your quadrant houses, in your Kendra houses, which are the fundamental houses. These are the pillars of life. So your decision making is going to be good as far as the month of November is concerned. Now, Jupiter, which continues to make a retrograde transit in your 10th house. Jupiter is an important planet for you because it's your fifth lord and also your eighth lord. It is making a retrograde transit. It wants you to look back at your dharma, at your journeys, at your higher education, your spiritual quotient, and trying to take corrective steps, corrective decisions. Now, this Jupiter and Venus are involved in a parivartana. Fifth house and 10th house Lord Parivartana, in my opinion, is one of the most strongest Parivartana yogas. November's month is a month of opportunity for you as far as your workplace is concerned. If in case your Dasha Antardasha is supportive, you could see an elevated role. You could achieve a higher position than where you are, or you could work towards it. So make sure that you make use of this opportunity during this time. Things are pretty much favorable as far as work is concerned. Because remember, Sun is also going to be in your fourth house. So your fourth and 10th axis is going to be quite prominent during this time. And this Jupiter will be aspecting both Sun and Mercury, while mutually Sun and Mercury will be aspecting Jupiter. So they're forming a royal yoga, right? So this is the time for you to take key decisions as far as your workplace is concerned. This Parivartana Yoga, in case your Dasha and the Dasha is supportive, workplace success, positional success, promotion, rise as far as your career is concerned, your work is concerned, your status is concerned, that is inevitable. In case your Dasha Antardasha is not so conducive, you could expect mixed results. Okay, as far as any remedy is concerned, chant mantras related to Jupiter. A simple mantra, Om Guruve Namah, could bring you long-term benefits. You can also worship Lakshmi, Durga, or Shakti during this time. That could give you extremely beneficial results. And for that, I wish you the very best. Now let us talk about Virgo Ascendants. What's happening with Virgo Ascendants as far as the month of November is concerned? I call the month of November as Opportunity Month because of some vital transits that are happening, including the direct motion. Finally, Saturn is going direct on 15th of November. So firstly, it's your fifth lord. It's an important planet for you between 14th till 16th of November. When Saturn is stationary, Stambhana, it is time for you to set your goals, make use of these energies. Saturn is the strongest planet as far as the month of November is concerned. It is reminding you of your karmas, of your duties during this time. So those dates, if you set goals, those goals can have long lasting results. So if you have a goal, let's say, of losing weight, if you set that around those dates, you're likely to achieve it. If you have a goal of having a new job or having a good relationship or having a sense of peace or increasing your spiritual quotient, anything as far as your social, mental, emotional well-being is concerned, you're likely to achieve those goals. You're likely to manifest by the power and blessing of Saturn during this time. And this Saturn is going to move in a direct motion in your sixth house on 15th of November. So from that point, Saturn is going to gradually pick up the pace. It wants you to fix your daily routine, things that you do on a day-to-day basis. And this is where duty comes into picture. We also see job from the sixth house. So expect some sort of change as far as your current job is concerned. There could be a new project, there could be a new assignment that could be initially a bit challenging, but as and when time would progress, it is going to get better for you as far as this time period is concerned. Saturn continues to aspect your 12th house by its seventh aspect. So it wants you to increase your spiritual quotient around this time. It wants you to take charge of it. Your Lagna Lord Mercury, which is making an important transit, it is going to enter your third house and it is going to stay in the third house for the entire month of November. It is a long transit of Mercury in Scorpio because later it is also going to go retrograde. And this Mercury is going to be conjoined with Sun, which is your 12th lord in the third house. It's an interesting transit because this could bring some travel opportunities. This could bring a start of a journey because your 3-9 axis is pretty active during this time. which indicates new journeys, short or long distance journeys. In case you take any spiritual journey or spiritual travel, that could bring some benefit. And this is one remedy that I would advise you, is to go on a spiritual journey. Now, this Jupiter is retrograde, so its aspect on Mercury and Sun is quite special during this time because it's a very powerful aspect since Jupiter is retrograde and it is making a royal lineage with Sun. But your Lagna Lord, your decision making is going to be strong. See, third house placement for Mercury is not the most ideal placement, but it's not bad as well because it's your Lagna Lord. Firstly, your communication is going to improve. You're going to bring in a sense of authority, leadership, and wisdom in your communication. And that could bring you some good workplace related results during this time. On the second hand, your relationship needs a lot of focus because Jupiter is retrograde, so it wants you to focus on your relationship. It wants you to look back at some of the decisions that you have taken, which are related to your partnership, which is related to your love, and of course your spouse, your married life, and take charge of things as far as what you can do here. Also, take into account that your ninth Lord Venus is in a Parivartana Yoga or an exchange yoga with this Jupiter. Both Jupiter and Venus are involved in a beautiful yoga during this time. And this Venus will be in the sign of Sagittarius. This transit is happening on 7th of November. Venus gains directional strength in the fourth house. So the blessings of Devata during this time, right? So any decisions that you take with regards to your house, one quick remedy for you, keep a white flower plant in your home indoors. It is going to bring in very good results. So these are involved in Parivartan, your fourth lord and ninth lord. It's a very beneficial Parivartana yoga or the exchange yoga. And any decisions that you could take with regards to your home. So maybe investing in real estate, buying a new house, or making some changes in your house. So that is something which is happening as far as the month of November is concerned. You are going to make some movements. Either you buy some furniture, either you would change some settings, you're likely to spend. And it'll be a good spend or a good investment, which will bring in a sense of rejuvenation. This is also an excellent time for you to declutter, give away those things that you do not need to others. Your wisdom is going to be pretty strong as far as this month is concerned. Your communication is going to improve, and a sense of duty for you is what are the things that you do on a day-to-day basis. That's your duty, that's your karma, and for that, I wish you the very best. Now let's talk about Libra Ascendant. What's happening with Libra Ascendants as far as the month of November is concerned? I call the month of November as opportunity month, okay? Because there are a number of vital transits that are happening in the month of November that is going to bring a sense of relief. October was a bit of a complicated month due to certain transits. November is going to bring in some opportunities as far as this month is concerned. So let's begin with your Ascendant Lord, Venus, which will be entering the third house on 7th of November in the sign of Sagittarius. So Venus enters here and it is forming a yoga, a Parivartana yoga with Jupiter. This is an exchange that Jupiter and Venus are having as far as this month is concerned. And you need to make sure that you make the most of it because this Jupiter is going retrograde during this time. So firstly, it wants you to look back and fix your relationship, fix your partnership, your married life. That needs a lot of focus during this time, particularly the first 15 days when Sun is also aspecting your seventh house. The heat of Sun is there. So it wants you to bring a sense of loyalty and use your wisdom to fix your relationship. So this is what it is there for you. Transformation is inevitable. Venus is going to bring a sense of eloquence as far as your communication is concerned. So one quick remedy for you is journaling. Journaling in the sense, write about gratitude. Be grateful of things. Be grateful of things. Write about those things that you're grateful of because Venus is Shukra. It self represents gratitude. That's what it means. So if you write about it, you're going to manifest a lot of positive energies as far as your life is concerned and make the most of these Parivartana energies. Mars continues to make a debilitated transit in your 10th house, but this Mars also gains directional strength. See, Mars is not the most favorable planet for you, but this Mars being in the 10th house would bring in some workplace related decision or change is concerned. So you'll have to put in conscious energy. So you need to watch your energy level as far as your workplace is concerned and consciously work towards it. Make sure that you energize in your interaction consciously. And at the same time, when you're presenting in front of others, you channelize your aggressive energies in a way that you are influencing other people. Your ninth Lord Mercury will enter Scorpio and will remain in the sign of Scorpio for the entire month of November. This Mercury will be conjoined with Sun in your second house. So this is forming a yoga. It's forming a Lakshmi yoga. It's forming a Dhan yoga. Your 11th Lord is in the second house. Your ninth Lord is in the second house. So as far as finance related matters are concerned, second half of the month looks quite promising. If you're expecting a rise in income, any increment, this could be the time if your dasha antadasha is supportive, but you will have to put in extra efforts. If your energy is high, you're going to get that. If your energy levels are low, then it's your bad luck. You will have to put in more efforts as far as this period is concerned. Jupiter is aspecting both Sun as well as Mercury, your 11th Lord and 9th Lord during this time in the second half of the month. Jupiter is forming a royal yoga with Sun. And since this Jupiter is retrograde, its aspect is extremely powerful. So it is supporting your dharma. It is also supporting your labh during this time. And this is something which you need to make the most of as far as this time period is concerned. Saturn, which makes a direct transit, finally it goes direct on 15th of November. So between 14th till 16th of November, Saturn will be stationary or stambhana. And this is one time wherein you have to sit down and write your goals. If you pen down your goals, you will have long-lasting impact as far as this time period is concerned. Whatever you wish to achieve in the long run, you will be able to manifest because your duty is somehow giving you a message that you need to take charge of your future. That's your karma. That's your duty as far as this time period is concerned. Saturn's going to be gradually picking up the pace, and you could expect some very good results because Saturn is the strongest planet for the month of November and it's your fifth lord. So, of course, you need not be worried about it because your future is in your own hands. This is the key message for you, during this time. The future of yourself and your family, that's in your hands. Any mantras that you take, you need to be regular. You need to have consistency in those mantras. So either it could be mantra related to Mercury or Saturn during this time. I would recommend a Vishnu mantra. It could be Om Vishnave Nama or Om Namo Narayanaya during this time. And you could have some beneficial results. And for this, I wish you the very best. Now let us talk about Scorpio ascendants and how the month of November is going to be for Scorpio ascendant signs. Now, the month of November, in my opinion, is an opportunity month because of the key transits that are happening. Now, thankfully for Scorpio ascendants, if you see, there will be a number of planets, 4 planets in your quadrant or Kendra houses. Sun is going to be joining Mercury around mid of November in your first house, in your ascendant. You need to welcome Surya Devata in your ascendant, which is your 10th Lord. It'll happen on the 16th of November. And I always say that when Sun enters your ascendant, makes a transit in your ascendant, you should worship Lord Shiva that time. Saturn and Jupiter are also going to be in your quadrant houses, 4th and 7th houses. So one thing is quite clear that your decision-making capability is going to be pretty strong during this time. The strongest planet of the month is Saturn, as far as its strength is concerned, as far as its bal is concerned. Now let's start with your Lagna Lord Mars, which continues to make a debilitated transit in your ninth house. This is where Mars is present and placed. Now, this is a yoga in transit, but somehow you will have to put in extra efforts. The message for you is to protect your dharma, protect your fortune. This way, you will do that. There could be some relationship issue with your father, and that is something which you have to be careful of, or an issue with your guru or your mentor during this time. So this is something which you have to be cautious of during this time. Now, Jupiter, which has started its retrograde journey, which is your fifth lord, an important planet for you, a Karaka Graha for you. Jupiter and Venus are in a Parivartana Yoga or an exchange. This is the second and the seventh exchange for you. So, as far as relationship matters are concerned, I do expect your partner or your spouse to have some financial gains during this time. So, this is quite an optimum time. And as far as if you have a business or if you're starting a new line of business, there could be some profits, there could be some payments that could come through during this time. So finances for those who run their business is likely to improve. See, this Jupiter is going to be behaving as if it's the Venus in the sign of Taurus and it's retrograde. So from a karmic standpoint, your relationship needs a focus. And you could also go through some dietary transformation. So either you could restrict yourself to certain food items, but I would suggest you take some proactive steps, proactive approach in order to set your dietary regime or routine. Your ninth Lord Moon is going to come in contact with Venus, with Saturn, with Jupiter during the first half of this month, also with Mercury. So that is how this is going to be transiting. So from an activation point of view, it will activate a number of things. And later in the month, it will also come in contact with Mars towards the second half. So this is where we could expect some sort of workplace related progress, you feeling better as far as your energy levels are concerned. Otherwise, this could be a pretty much drained out situation for you. Now understand your 10th Lord Sun is going to enter your ascendant on 16th of November along with Mercury, forming a beautiful Buddha Aditya Yoga in your ascendant. Mercury gains directional strength in the ascendant. Sun is the significator of the ascendant, and both of them are being aspected by Jupiter. So there's a mutual aspect by a fifth Lord Jupiter. Your decision making is going to be quite prominent as far as the second half is concerned. What decisions you need to make? You need to make decisions related to your future, related to your income, related to who you are, your overall personality, vitality, and also workplace related decisions. So, in the second half of the month, I do expect work related progress. Now, in order to ensure that you channelize these Rahu energies in your fifth house appropriately, you must do a Jupiter mantra. Either you do a Vyasa mantra, which is a Raksha mantra, or you do a simple mantra that is Om Guruve Nama, or you worship Lord Shiva. You do a Sadashiva mantra. Considering the sun is also going to be in your ascendant, you worship Lord Shiva, and Jupiter's deity is Sadashiva. So Om Namo Bhagavate Sadashivaya is a good mantra for you in order to reap most benefits of it. Saturn is going to be making a direct transit. So please mark these dates between 14th till 16th of November. Saturn is going to be in a retrograde stationary motion. Okay, so it is moving from stationary to direct. It's moving from retrograde to direct. It is going to be stationary for a momentary period. So this time is quite good to declutter your house, to remove those things that are old and give those things away. So cleanliness of your house is quite essential as far as this time is concerned. And as and when Saturn goes direct, you could expect some sort of progress as far as your mindfulness and mental peace is concerned. And for that, I wish you the very best. Now let's talk about Sagittarius Ascendants and what's happening with Sagittarius Ascendants as far as the month of November is concerned. I consider the month of November as opportunity month because of certain key transits that are happening. And finally, Saturn is going to go direct on 15th of November after a long wait, after a long haul in its Multrikon sign of Aquarius. But let's start with your Lagna Lord. There are interesting transits that are happening. Your Lagna Lord, Ascendant Lord Jupiter, has already begun its retrograde journey in the sign of Taurus. And this month, there's an interesting phenomena that is happening. Firstly, there is Venus, which is making a transit in your ascendant on 7th of November. And this Venus and your ascendant Lord Jupiter are forming a Parivartana Yoga. It's a mutual exchange yoga. Parivartana Yoga is one of the most powerful yogas as far as astrology is concerned. And here, both the gurus are involved, the Deva Guru and the Daitya Guru, Shukra. Now, one is quite a beneficial planet for you, which is Jupiter. The other is Venus. So momentary in the month of November, this Venus is going to be acting as if it's Jupiter sitting in the sign of Sagittarius in your ascendant, forming a Hamsa Mahapurush Yoga. So forming a Mahapurush Yoga, which gives you strength, which gives you inner capability. So this kind of exchange is an opportunity for you to increase your intelligence, to work towards your buddhi, learn something new, something that is practical in nature, use the power of your wisdom and your knowledge in whatever you're doing in your life for yourself. Self-development is the key because this kind of a yoga is very rare where your Lagna Lord or the Lord of the Ascendant is involved. Firstly, it wants you to look back at your fifth house matters related to your future, related to your children, and make some decisions. Take some corrective steps as far as these matters are concerned. You might have been facing a lot of isolation issues as far as workplace is concerned. Also, some sort of issues as far as your home is concerned with certain disturbances, which is likely to come down because of the presence of Venus in your ascendant. In spite of that being a functionally malefic planet for you, I do expect this to give you some prominent results during this time. This is quite an important phase for you. The other important transit for you is the transit of Sun. Sun currently is being in the sign of Libra, where it is debilitated for the first half of the month, but it's mostly a favorable transit for you because Sun is your Bhagyesha, and its transit in the 11th house always gives good results as far as some of these matters are concerned, which is matters related to gains, your increase of Bhagya, your fortune is pretty much favorable. Now, this Sun will come in contact with Mercury on 16th of November. Sun will make a transit here and they will form a Budh Aditya Yoga. Now, Sun goes Maran Karak, MKS position in the 12th house, which means it loses its significance somehow as far as this matter is concerned. Now, you need to understand that Sun is your Bhagyesha. Mostly it will give you positive results, whichever house it plays in, and from a transit point of view as well. So you need to look at your natal Sun. If it is strongly disposed, you will have very minimum effects there. So resources are going to be challenging as far as the second half of the month is concerned. But from a spiritual point of view, it is quite an excellent transit. You could increase your spiritual pursuit, your spiritual quotient during this time because Sun and Mercury are forming a Budh Aditya Yoga. So this will give you spiritual knowledge. This will give you new ways of increasing your mindfulness, yogic practices, sadhana. In case you work with foreigners or those people from different cultures, if you work in a multinational setup, you can gain from those people who are outside of your culture or those people who are in different countries. In case you wish to make a move outside of your homeland, this could be a potentially favorable time that could favor you as far as visa related matters are concerned, paperwork is concerned, and also from a permanent residency point of view is concerned. This could be favorable for two things. One, related to your education, higher education, which again where ninth house is involved, and 10th house matters. This could also take you outside of your homeland for a work-related trip or a project. So this is something which you must look forward to. Your fifth lord Mars continues to make a debilitated transit in your eighth house, which automatically gives Mars a Nicha Bhanga Yoga. However, you have to be slightly cautious during this time in terms of coping up with suddenness in your life. So there could be sudden ups and downs. Your future might look a bit uncertain at the mental level. But what you must do during this time is to maintain your levels of energy. Drink plenty of water because Mars is making an aspect to your second house by its seventh aspect. So you need to channelize these fiery energies by drinking lots of water and keep yourself hydrated. Saturn is finally going to be moving in a direct motion in your third house. And between 14th to 16th of November, when Saturn is stationary, it is making a transit in your third house. Right hand represents third house. So anything that you pen down, you write, or anything that you do using your hands could give you some long-lasting results. So I would encourage you to set your goals. I would encourage you to write a journal. This is an ultimate remedy for you as far as this time period is concerned. And for that, I wish you the very best. Now let us talk about Capricorn Ascendants and what's happening with Capricorn Ascendants as far as the month of November is concerned. So I call the month of November as an opportunity month for the year because of certain significant transits. Finally, your Ascendant Lord Saturn is going to be making a direct motion in your second house in its Mool Trikon sign of Aquarius on 15th of November. So this is one time which we all have been eagerly waiting for. Saturn moving in direct motion, the last leg in Aquarius, and that is not going to happen for the next 30 years. So this is where I want to share with you that between 14th till 16th of November, Saturn will be stationary or stambhana position while it is moving back to the direct motion. So this is where you need to manifest certain things because Saturn is the most powerful planet in the month of November as far as its overall Pala is concerned because it is having good dignity in some of the divisional charts. Even in Navamsha, it is moved out of Aries and now in the sign of Pisces. So this is where what you need to do is you need to fix your eating habits during this time, or you need to make some long lasting financial decisions because Saturn represents duty, and your duty. The planet that signifies duty is making a transit in your second house. It is stationary. So you need to look back at your financial decisions and make some investment related decisions during this time, which could give you some long lasting results, or try to change your eating habits. There could also be some decisions pertaining to your family during this time, which could be quite beneficial for you as far as the time period is concerned. Flow of funds could be better as far as the next few weeks are concerned. Now, the other interesting transit for you is the transit of Venus, which is your 10th lord and the 5th lord, the Yoga Karaka planet. Now, this Venus will make a transit in your 12th house. It will move out of the sign of Scorpio and enter Sagittarius on 7th of November. This is forming a Parivartana Yoga with Jupiter. Okay, so Jupiter here would be acting as if it's a Venus in the sign of Taurus, and Venus will be acting as if it's Jupiter in the sign of Sagittarius. So from a spiritual point of view, it is quite a good Parivartana Yoga because this will increase your spiritual capability and spiritual knowledge. You will become more aware of who you are, your potential strengths. You will also have a realization of certain not so good decisions that you have taken in the past and how it has had an impact on you. Sun continues to make a transit in your 10th house, though it is debilitated. Finally, Sun will move out of its debilitation sign. It will enter the 11th house. And I say most of the time that most planets give very good results as far as 11th house is concerned by placement and also by the virtue of transit. And Sun and Mercury here are forming a Budh Aditya Yoga. Mercury is your ninth lord. Okay, it's an important planet for you. It is also your sixth lord. When Mercury and Sun are forming a Budh Aditya Yoga, they are also being aspected by Jupiter. They have a mutual aspect. So Jupiter is forming a royal connection, royal lineage with Sun, which is very good from a financial point of view. You are going to take some financial decisions. You are going to take charge of your earnings, of your income. You're likely to have another source of income as far as this time period is concerned. But the message for you is to learn those skills or knowledge that could help you elevate as far as your work related matters are concerned, as far as your income is concerned. Because Mercury, your Bhagyesha, would stay in the 11th house for the remainder of the year because later Mercury will go retrograde in Scorpio. So for the remainder of 2024, this Mercury is placed here. It's a long transit that is there. And this is where you need to make the most of these energies. And they will also be aspected by Saturn by its 10th aspect. Saturn's 10th aspect is the aspect of growth. So it wants to grow your bhagya. It wants to grow your transformation because Sun for you rules transformation. It's your eighth lord, suddenness in life. Any mantras that you use, if these mantras are related to Devi Shakti, Lakshmi, that could be quite beneficial for you. A simple mantra, Om Lakshmi Nama, would help you channelize the energies of Venus and also Jupiter during this time more positively. And this is something which you have to make the most of during this time. And for that, I wish you the very best. Now let's talk about Aquarius Ascendants and what's happening as far as the month of November for Aquarius Ascendants is concerned. November's month is the month of opportunity because of important planets. Welcome, Shani, Saturn, your Lagna Lord, finally going to make a direct motion, direct transit on 15th of November. It's quite important for you. And please remember that between 14th till 16th of November, momentarily, Saturn will be stationary. right? The time it starts its direct motion from retrograde, it is stationary, it is stambhana. This is an ultimate time for you to make certain decisions for yourself. Take charge, take control of your actions. See, Saturn is the significator of duty. It is the Karam Karak. It signifies work, it signifies labor. So if you start a new work or do something new during this time for your own self, self-care is the best healthcare towards the end of the day. You could have some long-lasting results because this is the time for you to manifest things related to yourself. You will not get this opportunity for the next 30 years. This is something which you must remember during this time. So Saturn will be making a direct motion on the 15th, and it will start its motion in the remainder of the time, which is the last leg of transit in Aquarius. So any delays that have been there, any setback, a state of sorrow will reduce, and you will be more satisfied as far as the overall life is concerned. See, understand, you will have a number of planets in your Kendras. You will have Saturn, Jupiter, Mercury, and Sun will also enter Scorpio mid of November. So your decision making is going to be pretty strong. You're going to be firm as well as fair as far as your decisions are concerned. Jupiter continues to make a retrograde transit in Taurus. Interestingly, Jupiter and Venus are involved in a Parivartana Yoga during this time. They are involved in a mutual exchange. Your 4th and 11th exchange, it's quite a powerful exchange as far as home-related matters are concerned, and the external world is concerned as well. You will build a network, you will create an influence. At the same time, you would want to focus a lot on your mindfulness, on your inner peace and well-being during this time. From a financial point of view, this could be a favorable time because this Venus will act as if it's Jupiter in the sign of Sagittarius, which could give you some financial gains during this time. And Jupiter will act as if it's Venus in the sign of Taurus, which will improve the situation at home, which will also bring in some comforts in your life. So you would want to spend in luxury, you would want to spend in comforts, in convenience during this time. So you could buy some assets, you could buy some machinery, some gadget that could bring comfort in your life during this time. And this is something which you have to be quite mindful of. So Venus is making a pretty good transit in your 11th house throughout this month, which could bring you certain benefits and which could help you reconnect with some of your friends during this time. Now, Sun is going to be entering your 10th house. Sun is already making a decent transit in the 9th house because in spite of being debilitated, it is the significator of the 9th house. It will make you more dharmic. Now, Sun, when it enters the 10th house, it gains directional strength there. And it is conjoined Mercury, which is your 5th lord, which is the primary significator of the 10th house. They're forming a nice, beautiful Budh Aditya Yoga for the remainder of the time. Mercury will remain in your 10th house for the remainder of the year. It is time for you to start work. It is time for you to start something new. It's an opportunity. If you miss it, you might not get it for the next year or so, right? But this is something which you have to make the most of during this time. Sun and Mercury here, thankfully, are being aspected by Jupiter. It's a mutual aspect. Jupiter's aspect of Sun creates a royal lineage or a royal connection. So it brings favors from leadership, favors from government. And also it is aspecting Mercury. It brings favors from friends. It also brings management capabilities because wisdom is aspecting in the planet that represents intelligence, that planet that represents management capabilities. So this is quite a good time to learn more about management. They're also being aspected by Saturn by its 10th aspect. And Saturn's 10th aspect is about growth. Growth of your 5th house matters, which is all about future growth of your relationship because Sun for you rules your marriage partnership, those people who are opposite to you. So you are likely to grow and build your connections during this time. This is the kind of opportunity which is there. You must worship Lord Vishnu during this time. Mercury's remedy is in Vishnu. So use the mantra Om Vishnave Nama, or a simple mantra that could be Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. You are likely to have benefits as far as this particular transit is concerned. And for that, I wish you the very best. Now let us talk about Pisces ascendant and what's happening with Pisces as far as the month of November is concerned. It is an opportunity month for most of us because of some important connections. Your Lagna Lord Jupiter will be involved in a Parivartana Yoga with Venus. And both the gurus involved here are going to bring in some sort of outcome as far as this time period is concerned. So this could help you channelize those Rahu energies which are sitting there in your ascendant for the remainder of the year. And this is something which you have to be mindful of. Saturn will finally go direct on 15th of November. Around 14th, it will be stationary. So between 14th till 16th is quite an optimum time for you to do some spiritual practices, yoga, sadhana, meditation, or try to learn more about spirituality or similar practices. You could have some long lasting results, some long term benefits as far as this time period is concerned. Your Lagna Lord Jupiter has begun its retrograde journey in your third house. So it's want you to look back at your second house and take account of some decisions pertaining to your finances and also pertaining to your family. You could also go through some change as far as your dietary requirements is concerned. And if you were to journal about learning, wisdom, so put all your attention and energy there. See, because your 3-9 axis will be pretty much active here. Reason being, because Sun will move out of the sign of Libra around mid of November on 16th, and Sun will come in your ninth house. And Sun is the primary significator, one of the significators of the ninth house. They will form a nice Budh Aditya Yoga, and both of them will be aspected by Jupiter. Jupiter will have a mutual aspect with Sun and Mercury here. So this is where your 3-9 axis is pretty active. So you could start something new, a new line of work or a new project. You could go on a journey. Make sure if you get an opportunity to take a spiritual tour or a spiritual travel over the next 30 to 45 days, you must do it because the energies are very much favorable. You could have some benefits as far as this particular time period is concerned. Sun for you, though it's your sixth lord, okay, not the most ideal planet as far as Pisces ascendants are concerned, but it shares a very good relationship with your ascendant lord, and they're forming a royal lineage, a royal connection. Mars continues to make a debilitated transit in your fifth house. So this means you will have to put in a lot more energy. So energy is required as far as your future is concerned, as far as dealing with children is concerned. So this is where, from a remedial point of view, you must use a Vishnu mantra. You must worship Lord Vishnu, or you must worship Lord Hanuman. Read Hanuman Chalisa during this time to support yourself get out of this debilitated Mars. Though Mars for you is a Karaka Graha, it's your ninth lord, it is forming a yoga in the fifth house, but you would require more effort. So try to take charge of your energy, take control of your energy. You must remember that Jupiter's transit in the third house is a Maran Karak transit for you, but since it is going retrograde, it is better for you because it is improving its dignity during this time. And this Jupiter is forming a Parivartana Yoga with Venus. So this Venus here is going to behave as if it's Jupiter in the sign of Sagittarius in your 10th house, which could bring you some new, bigger and better work-related opportunities. So that is going to expand, that is going to grow. It is an opportunity for you because third house is communication, 10th house is your work. By your communication, you must improve relationship. You must build new relationship with people at your workplace. You must grow your acquaintance. You must grow your network. Build your professional brand during this time. This is an ultimate opportunity for you. I don't think you're going to get such an opportunity for the next few years. So the more you interact with people, the more you effectively present yourself as far as work-related situations are concerned, work-related setups are concerned, build your personal brand, and this is going to be quite favorable for you. You must remember that Saturn is the strongest planet as far as the month of November is concerned. It is making a transit in your 12th house. It's going to go in direct motion. Spirituality is the key. You would need to have a lot of spiritual practice in order to take care of your mental peace for yourself, and particularly also as far as your relationship is concerned, because over the last few months you would have faced some relationship issues. So now is the time to practice mindfulness. Now is the time to uplift yourself spiritually. This is the duty. Your duty is calling, and it wants you, Saturn wants you to become more spiritually aware of who you are. Increase your self-awareness. Do a SWOT analysis that could again help and foster you to build a good personal as well as professional brand during this time. And for that, I wish you the very best. So this was about the month of November and how some of the most prominent planetary transits are going to have an impact on all of us. Stay tuned for more videos on my channel. Very soon, I'm going to be making a video on Saturn's direct motion and how it will have an impact specifically on all 12 ascendant signs. Thank you very much. God bless you all.